covering the entire Piedmont Triad and everywhere you are. This is WXII 12 News at 5.
Right now on WXII 12 News at 5, a hit-and-run investigation after a postal worker was struck by a car, and new developments in a case we have been on top of involving a baby's death.
But we're starting off here in the Weather Center tonight. Our Chief Meteorologist Laney Pope saying the potential of strong wind could cause some damage tonight. Let's check in with Laney right now.
Oh, we're waiting on this cold front that is out to the west right now. It does have a line of severe weather with it. There are tornado watches that are out over parts of Alabama, as are pushing into Mississippi, I should say, and eventually into Alabama as we watch this line of storms continue to move east. The area that is shaded in this tan color, those under a wind advisory, and it does include our mountains and foothills. You notice that the rain, though, is way to the west, so far so good weather-wise for trick-or-treaters. We could, though, see some wind gusts after midnight tonight through early tomorrow morning in the mountains and foothills, anywhere between 30 to 50 miles an hour. Those types of winds, as this front approaches, could cause some isolated power outages, could also down some trees or tree limbs. So we just want to make you aware, if you're in our mountain and foothill counties, you are under a wind advisory through early tomorrow morning. Notice that the sweep on Super Doppler 12 is dry for now. That means for the little ones that are going to be heading out door to door this evening, we've got mild conditions for you. It's going to be a little bit breezy. Those temperatures will be in the mid to upper 60s, but it does look like the rain will hold off. We'll talk about the wet weather, how much we'll see, and the risk for severe storms in the Triad coming up.
Thanks, Laney. And remember, you can keep track of the forecast everywhere you go. Check out the interactive radar, one of the many features available on WXII12.com and on the WXII 12 News app for your smartphone and your tablet. A hit and run in Winston-Salem sends a postal worker to the hospital.
It happened around 10 this morning at the intersection of Montgomery and Holland Street, and tonight, no luck in finding the person behind the wheel. Margaret Johnson is there live with the very latest. Margot?
Well, good evening to you, Wanda. Shattered glass on the street is all that's left behind of what happened here around 10 o'clock this morning. Police and a witness confirmed that the mail carrier was standing outside her truck on the road gathering the mail for delivery like she normally does. And that is when the driver of a dark green Nissan Maxima plowed into the mail carrier and her vehicle. She was knocked to the ground, and the witness says the car slowed down, then took off. Robin Jarvis saw the whole thing. He told me that the car tailgated his truck as he turned from Granville onto Montgomery. He says the driver even flipped him off. He says the car wasn't going very fast, but the driver was not paying attention and likely didn't see the mail carrier until it was too late.
But it come right beside my truck, and he was looking back at us. Besides, he slammed into the mail van, and she fell out into the street, and it just knocked the door and everything off of the truck. It still got me a little shook up just seeing it happen.
Well, that mail carrier has been identified as 36-year-old Madaria Renee Cameron. She works out of the North Point Post Office. Now, the post office does confirm for us that she did suffer a leg injury. Our witness told us that it looked pretty bad. Neighbors here are calling her the sweetest little thing. They are torn up by what happened, and they hope police catch whomever did this. Again, the hit-and-run car described as a dark green Nissan Maxima, possibly a 94 or 95, and police said it had 3 people inside, and they're asking anyone with information to give them a call. Here's the number, 773-7832. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Margaret. In Greensboro, charges have been filed against the father of an infant who was found dead inside a car earlier this month. 31-year-old Jose Ficek has been charged with involuntary manslaughter. It was on October 3rd that police found the 3-month-old boy in the back seat of the family's car in the parking lot of a shopping center on West Market Street. He died of heat stroke. According to authorities, police say the infant was in the car between 1 and 5 hours on a day when the temperature was 83 degrees.
Tonight, Winston-Salem police are investigating a shooting that left one man in the hospital fighting for his life. Police were called to 4040 Reich Street around 9:30 last night. That's where we find our David Janot today with the latest on the investigation.
Crime scene investigators have been on the scene for hours trying to piece together what exactly happened here late last night. Just after 9:30 p.m., Winston-Salem police and EMS responded to a house on 4040 Reich Street and found 39-year-old Cranston Hargrove unresponsive with a life-threatening gunshot wound. Police say witnesses reported hearing multiple gunshots last night and seeing 2 men running away from the area. Police say that Hargrove was transported to Baptist and is in critical condition. They're asking if you have any information, you're urged to call police or Crime Stoppers. Reporting in Winston-Salem, I'm David Janot, WXII 12 News.
And tonight we're hearing some of the frantic calls to 911 after a drive-by shooting in Greensboro Tuesday that police say was gang-related.
Okay, I need you to stay on the phone with me, okay?
All right.
Are you with them now?
Yes, hurry up.
Listen.
I'm out here now. Yes,
Yelling,
please, baby, please. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, man. Please, my homeboy shot.
I understand.
Can you please, my homeboy shot.
20-year-old Elijah Jordan and 20-year-old Jeffrey Sims have been charged in that shooting. Police say that both men were wearing electronic monitoring devices from prior convictions, and that's how police knew they were in the area at the time of the shootings. 4 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries. A Grayson County grand jury in Virginia has indicted a man in the murder of his girlfriend. Matthew Jones is accused of killing Desiree George sometime between April 15th and May 22nd. That's the day before she was reported missing and the day her body was found. Jones remains in North Carolina. He's charged in a Randolph County bank robbery.
One man is in jail, another on the run after shots were fired late last night in Wilkes County. Police were called to the area of South Street around 10:30 last night. That's where they found 3 people who said shots were fired at them by a former tenant, Christopher Linehan, following an altercation. Linehan was found and taken into custody. Another man, Tashami Vick, who police say threatened the victims with a gun, is still on the loose. None of the victims was seriously hurt. Remembering Trayvon at historically black colleges and universities around the country today, demonstrations were held in honor of the slain Florida teenager. Rob Wu is live on the campus of Winston-Salem State University with the story.
Wanda, even though Trayvon Martin is dead, the students here say his spirit is very much alive and it lives on through them. Today, they gathered in the center of campus for a demonstration aiming to keep his story and the events fresh in people's minds. Those that attended laid on the ground as audio of the 911 tape and the verdict played in the background. Martin has been in the news lately. His mother was just in the nation's capital urging lawmakers to change the stand your ground laws. Also this week, a picture of a pair of men in Florida went viral because of their Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman Halloween costume. Students who have seen the pictures say while it is appalling, it's not all that surprising.
I just feel like there's truth in every joke, and the fact that you feel like it's okay to make light of something so serious is highly insensitive, and it's not okay.
It made me very upset, but it also inspired me for today because human life is not a joke, and it's fine that you want to joke like that, but that's just going to make me want to keep doing things like this.
And students are holding another program at the Thompson Center behind me at 6 p.m. They say the goal of all this is to bring awareness and to stop injustices against people of all backgrounds. Cam and Wanda, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Rob. The Virginia State Supreme Court has reversed a wrongful death verdict against the state involving the 2007 massacre at Virginia Tech. In 2012, a jury ruled the state was negligent in not notifying students about the gunman on campus that killed 32 people, then turned the gun on himself. 2 families who filed the suit were awarded $100,000 each.
New developments tonight out of Washington, D.C., where Senate Republicans have blocked the confirmation of North Carolina Congressman Mel Watt to serve as the next leader of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Both North Carolina Senators Richard Burr and Kay Hagan voted for Watt. Richard Burr, in fact, one of only 2 Republicans that voted in favor of his confirmation. The other was Senator Rob Portman of Ohio. Winston-Salem police want to know if you recognize the man that you see in these security photos. They say he kidnapped a woman and then robbed her. According to police, the woman was in her car on Summit Square Boulevard Tuesday afternoon when this man handed her a religious pamphlet and then left. But shortly after that, police say the man returned armed with a knife and forced his way into the victim's vehicle. Police say he then made her drive to an ATM and get some cash. Anyone with information should call Winston-Salem Crime Stoppers at 727-2800.
A reward is being offered as police search for answers in a rabbit torture case. Kinston police say 2 rabbits were found brutally murdered and 2 are missing from their home. Crime happened Saturday. A reward of $1,000 is now being offered for information leading to an arrest. A Cumberland County elementary school teacher is facing misdemeanor charges accused of smacking a 2nd grader. 35-year-old Tammy Moore was given a criminal summons to appear in court. Authorities say they started investigating on October 11th when the student told his family that the teacher hit him.
A man's been arrested in a Henry County, Virginia bank robbery that happened earlier this month, and police say he is behind more holdups. 25-year-old George Gaunt is accused of robbing the Carter Bank and Trust on A.L. Philpott Highway back on October 8th. He's also accused of robbing another bank in Virginia, as well as a bank in Iowa and one in Minnesota. Gaunt was taken into custody in Minnesota, and that's where he remains tonight. A water main break has shut down a street in Winston-Salem. That happened this morning at Miller Street between 1st and Cloverdale Avenue near the 5 Points intersection. There is a detour in place, and we're told that road should reopen within the hour.
Looking ahead, a lot of people living in the Piedmont will get free dental care tomorrow. It's the 8th annual Dentistry from the Heart at Ashford Dental Care. The first 150 patients will get a free exam, x-rays, and either an extraction or cleaning. The doors open at 8 a.m., but organizers are urging people to show up early. Folks are expected to camp out tonight.
A movement to end partisan politics. I'm Bill O'Neill in Greensboro. The story is next.
And it's that time of year, time to get your leaves in order.
What you need to know coming up on WXII 12 News at 5.
That's right. She's talking into the microphone. It is trick-or-treat time here at the WXII 12 studios. We've got quite a crowd, including Aaliyah, who's a year old, and she's a bumblebee. Bobby. That's right. And take a look at all these folks behind me. We're going to meet some of the folks that have come to WXII for trick-or-treat coming up.
Plus, I'll be showing you why it may be a little bit more inconvenient to travel around Winston-Salem. You're watching WXII 12 News.